interesting today. You guys never cease to amaze me on some of these interesting questions. Okay. Hi, Steve. How can a veteran know if a service dog could be helped to them? First of all, they need to have a mobility disability. That's the number one, because we raise mobility service dogs here. So, ideas of that are trouble walking, balance, traumatic brain injuries, on the civilian side, MS, Parkinson's. But as we were just talking the other day, Carlene and I, there's only so much a dog can do for somebody. So if your condition is to such an extent that the dog can't help you, as much as we don't like to say it, we're going to have to say it. And we do, I should say that. Carlene has the privilege of telling people if the dog won't help them. We have strict guidelines on what the dogs can do and what they can't do. Carlene will be able to explain at some point.
Try the back pocket routine.
Yes, and we do that with everybody. I mean.
Yeah, but if they can't walk holding onto somebody's back pocket, then the dog's not going to be able to help them.
Right.
So if you go that road.
And then we have some people that are just scared to death to do the back pocket thing. But I always send it home as homework. So you got to kind of pass the back pocket before we can get into any details about it. But I will say, everybody that's done the back pocket thing and truly does try to do it, it'll tell you right away.
Yeah. Then you pull somebody's pants off, but that's another old problem.
Boy, did we have questions for you. Oh, cardio mom, I can only imagine. Here, I'll just really start. I always think this is a long one, so I'm going to read it to myself, and then I'll. Sandy from New Jersey basically is asking a question about her dog that is barking at the door before they go upstairs to go to sleep. My first instinct with that would be is let your dog out and go to the bathroom. Charlie does a similar thing. When he knows I'm going to bed, he basically will go to the bathroom before I go to sleep. So he doesn't want to miss his turn to go to the bathroom, and I don't want him to miss his turn to go to the bathroom. So basically, I let him out just before I go to bed. He may be trying to tell you that. Give that a whirl and see what happens. Yes, Jerry and Steve are here. It's always good to see Jerry and Steve. I was just looking at the Connex down there too with the Purina checkers on it, and I was thinking of you today before you got here.
That's her magic. I'm not allowed to play with paint.
Okay. How long does it take for someone to work with a dog before you're sure it is a good match? That is, again, it all depends on the person, it all depends on the dog, it depends on what we're working with. There are just so many variables to that.
The shortest has been 4 hours, and the longest has been 10 days. Something
Yeah.
like that.
And keep in mind, it's never over. It's a continuous thing, even when they leave, because they're coming back. Things come up, situations come up. So we're always working with the applicants and the recipients. It's, as far as I look, it never ends. I mean, I still work with Charlie on different things all the time. You should always be working your dog to make sure they're up to date on what they're doing and teaching them new things as you need it. But at the initial part of it, it really depends on the disability. It depends on where the dog is. There's just so many variables to it. But I can assure you they don't go out the gate until we feel comfortable that everything's okay, at least safety-wise.
Well, generally they don't go out the gate until the dog follows the person around either.
Right.
So we know the bonding is taking place.
Is there something you want to actually teach? Curious if any of the service dog project Danes that have been placed also do double duty as PTSD physician. Here's my theory on this, and don't throw anything at me. And
Well, finish first. and then
here's
I'll-
my thing on this whole PTSD, because this is a question I get asked quite frequently. And everybody out there who knows me, who has ever met me before, obviously knows I have PTSD. These dogs are trained for mobility purposes. If you can get that dog to work with you on a PTSD situation, you're way ahead of the game. You are fortunate. You have a good dog. I will tell you that most of these dogs will react around PTSD situations. Are they trained to do that? No. We train mobility dogs here. However, I've told Carlene this a million times. Charlie is the best PTSD dog. I would put him up against anybody that's been trained as a PTSD dog. But that's not to take away from he's helped me off the ground. He's helped me walk through stores. He's helped me do all these different things in the last years that no other dog would be able to do that wasn't a service dog project dog. So PTSD is like a bonus. That's the way I look at it. I do look at little different things with dogs, especially when I'm dealing with the veterans. But I think if you get to know your dog, you're going to find out that they're going to be good PTSD dogs. Would you like to?
No.
No. Main task today. I've been on the main task for these older dogs, really fine-tuning. I was very impressed with Merle today. Merle and I and Carlene went to Walmart this morning. And I actually went through Walmart, through racks of clothes, back and forth, around electronics, kids, shopping carts, at a very loose leash with Merle. And 95% of the time, Merle was right there beside me.
He looked good to me.
I was extremely impressed with Merle today. Merle gets the gold star. Connex, that's a military term. Yes, it is. Well, I think the civilians would call it a big, large metal container. In the military, we call them Connexes. We often call them Connex to Connex training when we got out of line and somebody had to straighten us out. Are there any problems with Danes and thunder and lightning? You know, I hear of them every now and then. I've never had that with Charlie. I think Charlie could sleep through an earthquake. I mean, Charlie raises his head when a big crash of thunder comes down, but he's never really let that bother him. However, I have heard of people with thunder jackets and all these other things, but I've never
been totally convinced that they aren't treating the people, not the dog.
Yeah. I mean, let me put it this way. Charlie jumps no more than I do when a crack of thunder hits right next to the house, so I don't know how you weigh that out. Again, that's you're setting up for failure there. You kind of have to be able to teach a dog and to let the dog know to relax, that it's okay. You kind of have to be able to catch it when it happens. So I guess if the thunder and lightning is coming, if you want to lay down next to your dog and praise the dog and comfort the dog, it would be easier to get through something like that. I've just never seen a thunder jacket work.
No, it's a marketing gimmick.
Except for the people that are selling the thunder jackets.
Right.
So,
I had a dog. I took a dog by mistake to right underneath a 4th of July episode, and I felt badly about it. It was a Great Dane. And he just came in and put his head on my knee, and he was scared to death. But that was it. He just, he was scared. So he looked to me for reassurance, and that's I think what all these dogs do.
yes.
When in doubt, you look to your
Right.
owner.
Yep. I would agree. So I don't... I've just never had dogs that have been real bad with lightning. I mean, I've seen them jump, and I've had police dogs, but... any traumatic event that you have with a dog, you need to work with the dog and work through it so that the dog knows that it's okay. That's, to me, that's the trick to it. If the dog doesn't feel comfortable, the dog doesn't feel like it's okay, you need to step in and take care of that dog a little bit.
You want to start with Bentley?
Okay.
Is that Bailey?
Penguin hugs for the three of you. That's what I've been told to say
You
by
know what
Blue
she's looking
Penguin.
for. Well, maybe drink, but also the spoon routine.
And that kind of goes back to the whole, no matter what you do with the dog has to be comfortable that you're telling them the right thing to do. You can cut half your battles down if that dog trusts you. When the dog stops trusting you, that's when you're going to start to see problems. So if you have to build that trust with your dog, then you need to build the trust with the dog. That's really the key to any dog training, is trust. And it's hard to explain until you have a dog that doesn't trust you and then try doing something. And it doesn't matter what kind of a dog it is.
We'll get something in a minute there, dear.
Can you tell me what kind of training Frenzy is in need of? Very little. We're still evaluating Frenzy. We'll just leave it at that right now. We're just still trying to figure out where and if there's big problems or not. Yes, that's a good example. When Carlene did step in and save Bentley. You know, it's very easy to say, you know, having worked with military dogs, police dogs, service dogs, obedience training, it's very easy to tell somebody not to do something. The easiest way to figure that out for me is, if Charlie was in that elevator, I would have been in that elevator getting Charlie out. Chances are it would have been a lot worse for me, because Charlie probably would have been dragging me out of the elevator. But it's easy to say, let the dog go, take care of your safety first, deal with the dog afterwards. But when it's your dog, it's a whole different ballgame. So you kind of have to remember things like that. Oh, okay, I got exactly 30 seconds left. What kind of training did you do in the military with dogs? Military canine dogs, drug sniffing dogs, explosive dogs. I was in charge of a military canine unit. So we had patrol dogs. Every kind of dog that you can pretty much imagine was under my leadership at one point. And I worked with some really good trainers and really good handlers. Okay, I do not want to steal away from Carlene, and we have Steve and Jerry here tonight, so we've got big events going on. Big events. Thank you all. I will see you. This is my Friday, so I will see you Tuesday. Okay, Bentley.